Hi guys, welcome to Pagoda 1, and as you can see, we are all wearing masks today to help raise awareness. Even though we're not as social distancing very much, we are trying to, adhere to the mask wearing culture at the moment. So, by the way, I'm Walter from Australia.
Chantal from South Africa.
Sam from England.
John from America.
Today our topic is going to be sort of cultural shocks in Korea specifically. We all have been living in Korea for a certain amount of time, so I'm sure we all have some interesting stories to tell. I'd love to start with you, John, today. Tell us about maybe one of your stories when you were culturally shocked here in Korea.
Man, I would say the biggest shock I had, and this is still every once in a while, I'll still be a little scared, but I get to Korea, fresh off the plane, get out of the bus, start walking down the sidewalk to get to my hotel, and what comes rushing past me? Motorcycle.
Right. Yes.
That, it took me probably, 2-3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks-ish to get kind of used to it. Now I understand it's all about like getting the delivery in time. But man, that first bit was super shocking. Yeah.
I believe that happens a lot in like many Asian countries as well. Like Southeast Asia, I know, has a lot of scooters that get around. So that's also something that many people probably experience there as well. Sam, how about you?
Mine was a little bit similar to John, as in like when I first got off the plane, fresh off the boat, I should say, like in Korea. I didn't take the bus, but I took the subway. And I mean, in England, we call it the underground. There is no signal for your phone, no Wi-Fi. It's quite cramped.
Right.
It's a very old system. I think it's the oldest subway system in the world. So you can imagine my absolute delight when I stepped into the Korean subway, clean. There's room. There was like a TV up there.
Right.
And like everyone's on their phones, and I got my phone out, and there was signal, and I can connect to the Wi-Fi. It was like I just went 1,000 years into the future. It was like the best kind of culture shock.
Yeah. Not all culture shocks are bad.
Right,
Exactly.
Exactly.
shocking, right? Some of them are, we could call them culture surprises.
Exactly. That's more of a culture surprise. If you put it like that.
A pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And Chantal, how about you?
So mine wasn't as pleasant. In South Africa, I was fortunate, and privileged enough to have my own car, and so I wasn't used to people bumping into me the whole time. But even when you're in the shops or in the mall or whatever, people don't tend to gravitate towards you when you're walking. We try to avoid each other, right?
Okay.
We don't like bumping. It's kind of seen as very aggressive. So walking on the sidewalk, especially busier areas like Gangnam as well, when it gets busy, and in the subway, people just bump and shove past. And I was like, they're so rude. And I didn't understand that's how it is. And I told some people, they're like, oh, it's totally normal. It's not rude here. And I've been here for 5 years, and it still kind of gets to me sometimes, but I've gotten a lot more used to it.
Right. How about you guys? You feel the same way as well, or?
I did, exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I got so used to it that when I go back to England and bump into people, I just keep walking. Get out my way. Get out my way. It takes some time to get used to it in England, because I've got so used to it here.
And I would, when someone bumps into me, I had the tendency to apologize. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, wait, why am I apologizing? I'm talking to you.
And then you get angry. Why am I sorry? That happens to me as well.
Yes.
How about you?
I grew up in a, not a big city. I think the biggest city I lived in was a couple 100,000 people. So you have to go out of your way just to touch someone.
You just see someone across the street, make a beeline for them, and then, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that was just a shock to me, and I didn't know if it was a culture shock or a city shock. I just thought, this is city life, which is yeah. I thought like if I go to New York, I'm sure it'd be the same thing. So yeah, it wasn't that. But what was another culture shock actually related to people and traffic? Holding doors open.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I had a funny experience.
Well, you can't just say that.
Well, actually, in this building, right out the back.
Yes.
I'm so used to holding the door open for anybody. So at that time, it was a kind of peak season in Pagoda. And there were so many students like ready to walk out the door. And as I like pulled the door open, it was just like an army of people walking out. And I literally stood there for about, literally I was like, am I getting paid to do this? And it was just, I couldn't let go of the door, you know. I committed to it. So.
This is now my job.
Doorman Sam.
Doorman Sam.
Yeah.
That's a good nickname.
Yeah, oh god, no, please don't pick that up.
Yeah. Well, for me, particular, my culture shock was just, I guess, interaction like touching people, right? Like male versus female. Like in Western countries, you can kind of hug friends from both sexes, right? Like I have female friends in Australia who hug me without thinking, and when I came to Korea first, I got close to just a female friend. And when I went to say hi to her, I went for the hug, and she gave me a high five. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing.
And then you never met again.
Yeah, and I just realized that in Korea, guys and girls don't really hug or unless they're a couple. So that was sort of like a kind of a culture shock for me as well. It was quite embarrassing culture shock.
The cringe is real.
Yeah, trust me.
Oh god, yeah.
I don't think she realized it, but then I was like just crying.
Years later,
exactly. I hope no one else saw that like on the street.
Oh my god, yeah.
It was really, really shocking to me. So.
Can I add something though? Because what is also shocking to me is between opposite genders, you can't hug or touch or hold hands. Between same genders, you can hold hands.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, to me, when I first came here, I was like, very open-minded culture in Korea. A lot of lesbians and a lot of gays. But then I realized, no, that's not it. That people hold hands more for comfort or for closeness.
Yes.
And that really shocked me at first.
Yeah. I've seen that as well.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yes.
It happens in India. Like I think in India as well, they're very open to holding hands. But even just keeping on that subject, like if I'm out with my friends, they'll put their hand on my shoulder, and
right.
that's sort of still like quite common these days. But in like Australia, you do that, people would probably assume that you're maybe gay or like something like that. But it's a bit different here.
Yeah.
Well, it's not as bad as when I first came here. I called a guy Oppa.
Oh, really?
Because I thought that was the way you just called an older guy.
Oh, no.
So can you imagine?
Yeah.
The cringe. Not like that. But
Did you use egg yolk?
no, I did not.
He did.
You've uncovered my secret. But that was the most embarrassing experience I've had in Korea. And that was in university. There were many people around.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was the way you call like an older guy, regardless of, your own gender.
Yeah.
But don't do that if you're a guy.
Yeah. So guys, I hope this is entertaining for you today. How about yourself at home? Do you have any culture shocks in other countries? Always remember to like,
Leave a comment.
Subscribe.
We'll do that one more time. Always remember to
Like,
Leave a comment.
And subscribe.
and we'll see you on the next episode at Pagoda 1.
Bye.